Good morning, my little nature nuts. Wave if you can hear me. How are you today? Show me your moose horns. Turn into a fish. Awesome. It is Miss Beth here to show you some more awesome activities we can do at home to help celebrate yesterday's holiday, which was Earth Day. And as your nature teacher who loves being outside and all of Earth's critters, I think it should be Earth Day every day. So we're going to continue with some fun activities appreciating our home, the planet Earth. On Tuesday, you guys explored how everything we have around us was taken from the earth and some simple things we can do to help protect it by recycling, letting those glass jars, plastic bottles, and aluminum cans be turned into something else. So we don't have to keep taking the rocks from the earth, the oil from the earth, and the sand from the earth. You guys also helped me recycle paper by creating our own beautiful colored paper, as well as the awesome seed bombs, where we use the paper pulp to mix in with the seeds, and I can't wait to put these outside in my garden. So what we're going to do today is explore how Earth is not only our home, it is home to millions of other animals and plants that need it to survive. So we are going to look a little deeper into what some of those animals are and how we can help them. So the first activity we are going to do today is a little messy, but Miss Beth loves messy. And we are going to use some shaving cream, and we are going to use some paint. We're going to use blue for water and green for earth. And then look through your toy box and see what kind of small animals or any of Earth's critters that you might have, so that we can explore where these animals live on Earth. What I'm also going to need is a round platter or dish or baking dish to be able to create this awesome activity. So the first thing I'm going to do is turn my shaving cream into blue, which I've already done, to represent the water. And then I'm going to make some into green to represent the land. So the first thing I'm going to do is add some shaving cream into a container. You don't need a ton, but a nice little bubble. Add some green paint, and I'm using washable paint because we are going to get our hands in this and get a little messy. And I want you to be able to wash your hands afterward. So I'm just going to mix in this green paint, green, to create some green shaving cream to create our earth. And then next comes the fun part. So once I have green and blue, I'm going to roll up my sleeves before I get a little messy. I'm going to create the earth on my plate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my blue shaving cream, and I'm going to get a big handful here and smear it all over my plate. So this is going to be my ocean. Now, why do you think I needed a circle plate? Why, if I want to make the earth, do I want a round plate? Because the earth is round, and we've already learned that, right? It is the shape of a circle. So after I have my blue smeared all over my plate to represent the ocean, the next thing I'm going to do is add the land. Okay, can you see that it's nice and blue? Let me clean off my hands here. I'm going to use a towel so I can wash it and reuse it instead of my paper towels that I just throw in the garbage. Now I'm going to take my green and I'm going to create the land. So on Earth, we have different continents. We have 7 different continents. And I'm not going to create all of them, but I'm going to do the best I can to create them. So again, with my hands, I'm just going to smear some green to create North America, where the United States and Canada is. I'm going to make South America. And let me get a good scoop here so I can make Europe and Africa. So I get my green shaving cream all over here. And now I have a picture of the earth, the blue ocean and the green land. So if you've gone through your toy box and found a lot of different little critters, we know that there are lots of different animals that live on Earth. So let's take a look at some that I found and see where they belong here in my earth. So the first thing I found is an octopus. Is an octopus live in the ocean, or does an octopus live on the land? What do you guys think? He swims around in the ocean, right? So I'm going to place him right here in my blue ocean. What about a kitty cat? Does a kitty cat swim in the sea, or does he crawl around on the land? Yeah, he's going to live on the land, so I'm going to put him in there too. What about my shark with fins to help him swim? Where is he going to live? In the ocean. Excellent. How about a cheetah, the fastest animal on earth? Where's he going to live? On the land. You got it. I'm going to put him here in South America. I have a deer. Any animal with 4 legs is usually going to live on the land. They're going to use those 4 legs to be able to run around on the land. What about a sea turtle? Where does he swim around in? Right, in the ocean. So I'm going to go through my animals and place them where they belong on earth. My bear, again, 4 feet and fur, so he's going to live on the land. Let's see here. What about a sea star? A sea star lives in the sea, right? We'll put him in the blue ocean. Ooh, here's a tricky one. What about a penguin? We've talked a lot about penguins when we were exploring temperature and how they live in cold areas. So what I'm actually going to add to my beautiful earth is a little bit of white down here at the bottom to represent the South Pole where ice is frozen, and that's actually where my penguin lives. He lives on the frozen ice and not necessarily the land. So when we talk about all of Earth's critters that live here, they need this earth to stay protected for their home as well. And we have to remember all the little tiny critters too, like all of our beetles and butterflies. They all need the earth to stay safe and clean because it's their home as well. So it is our job to make sure that all these animals can stay safe on their home, the planet Earth. We have stingrays, we have caterpillars, we have, what's this guy with the stripes? You guys know what that one is? Zebra. Awesome. So Earth is not only our home, but the home for all these animals as well. So once you've created this awesome Earth, and my penguin's about to fall off the side of it, then you get to kind of be a little messy and play with it. Maybe you want to start having your shark swimming around through the ocean, or your zebra galloping up the continents, and you guys can have some fun getting messy with these critters as they're living on Earth. Pretty awesome, right? So again, it's our job to help keep these animals safe and protected. So I'm going to put my awesome Earth to the side here. And there are animals that we probably like more than others. Everyone has a favorite animal. And each of these animals live somewhere else on Earth. And where an animal lives is called its habitat. Can you say habitat? Habitat. So an animal's habitat is where they get food, water, and shelter. So for this next activity, we are going to create a habitat or look closely at where different animals live. So one of my favorite animals lives in the ocean. So I'm going to create an ocean habitat by using recyclables. I'm going to turn my Rice Krispie treat box into something else. I'm going to recycle it. And my favorite animal is a shark. And you already told me that an animal with fins is going to live in the ocean. So what I did is I turned my Rice Krispie treat box into my own little ocean. I looked around my house to see what I had. I created waves with some paper. I created sand with paper and markers. I added some seashells and some seaweed and some rocks, because this is the habitat that my shark wants to live in, where he needs to get his food and water. So it's important that if I love the shark, that I can do things to help save the shark. And what's happening in our oceans today is a lot of pollution. People are littering or throwing their garbage into the water instead of throwing it in the trash where it belongs. And so what we can do, and something I do because I love the ocean, is we can help clean our beaches. Every time I go to the beach over the summer, if I see garbage on the sand, I pick it up and I put it in the garbage pail. Because when it floats out to sea, then animals start eating it. My sea turtles and my birds can get really hurt by eating the litter and pollution. So if I love sharks and sea stars and hermit crabs, I can do small things to help keep their habitat clean and keep them protected by throwing my garbage where it belongs so it doesn't hurt them. So let's create a habitat together for one of the animals that you might love. So again, I have a recyclable. I have a shoebox. So for this habitat, I just cut out the front of my shoebox. And the animal that I think that you guys might like to create a habitat for is a dinosaur. And what type of dinosaur is this? The biggest, baddest, and meanest, the Tyrannosaurus Rex, or T-Rex. So when I think about the T-Rex, I have to think, where do I know that he lived? In the pictures and the books and the movies that I've seen. And what I'm going to do is just to make my shoebox kind of a tall, nice area to create something with, is in order to make my shoebox stand up without falling, I'm just going to add a quick little stick here. It's going to keep it nice and flat, and that way I don't have to worry about it falling down. So here I have my habitat for my T-Rex. So what is in his habitat? Well, when the dinosaurs roamed the earth, they lived in areas that were very filled with plants. So I went through my craft cabinet. I found all these fake leaves and vines that I'm going to start placing all over my jungle habitat for my T-Rex. What I also did with another recyclable is I found my butter can and I made a hole in it for a cave. Maybe there's an animal that wants to hide in my cave in the T-Rex habitat. Then I have more fake leaves that I can fill it up for the jungle. And I have some grasses and vines. And if you don't have fake leaves, you can go outside, trim some bushes, and create a natural habitat. I'm going to use some natural items that I found in my house, like a pine cone, or even some rocks to create a nice habitat for my T-Rex. And when I watch movies or look in books about dinosaurs, I often see some volcanoes in the background. So I used some paper to create my own little volcano. So I'm going to put this right back here for my T-Rex as well, creating his habitat. Put a couple more leaves in there. And what there were tons of are trees in his environment. Lots and lots of plants. So I can use recyclables and things around the house and create an amazing habitat for my friend, the T-Rex. So this is just a cool thing that you guys can do, and it becomes a little play scene where you can create some action here for your dinosaur. But let's think about it. Are dinosaurs still on Earth today? No, but this habitat, this jungle with all these plants and trees is still on Earth today. And there are millions of birds and bugs that rely on this jungle to be able to survive. Now, what's hurting the jungle today? What's happening in the jungle is that they are cutting down, chop, all the trees and using those trees to create wood and paper. So a lot of those birds and frogs and bugs are losing their habitat. So we can just do simple things like recycling our paper to make sure that this habitat stays there for our animals to stay safe. Pretty awesome. So now I have a cool little dinosaur play set to play with a little later. So what about something that we can do right now, today, to help some of the animals that we have out in nature? Maybe some of the animals that are right in our backyard. One simple thing we can do is create our own bird feeder to put right in our backyard for our birds to enjoy. And in order to do that, we're going to use some Crisco. And this is like a greasy fat that's gonna hold together my bird seed. And if you want to do a fun shape, go through your cabinet, find some cookie cutters, and we're going to use a cookie cutter to create an awesome bird feeder to put outside for the birds. Show our appreciation and help them survive on planet Earth. So what I'm going to do is scoop some Crisco, some of my white fat shortening, into a bowl and add a bunch of bird seed. I want more seed than I do this white fattening. Then I'm just going to mix it up so it all gets together. And it'll be a really nice treat. And the Crisco is safe for the birds. If there are no peanut allergies at home, you could also use peanut butter. So once I have this all mixed up and my bird seed nicely mixed in, then I'm going to take my cookie cutter shape and put it on a flat surface. I'm using the top of a Tupperware. And I'm just going to fill it with the mixture that I have made. So take your scoop, add it in there, press it in real nice to get it super full. You want to have a lot of treats for your birds to be able to enjoy outside in your backyard. So once I get my cookie cutter filled, and I chose a butterfly shape because it's a shape of nature, right? Once I get my cookie cutter filled with my treat, the next thing I need to do is cut off a small piece of a straw and poke that right into the middle so that there's a hole so we can hang our bird treat. And then we need to put it in the freezer overnight. So if you put that in the freezer overnight and then pull it out of your cookie cutter, what you get to create is an amazing shaped bird feeder. I put a piece of string through the hole I had created, and now I can hang this outside in my backyard, and all the birds will be so happy that I gave them a special treat to help them survive here on Earth. If you don't have cookie cutters at home, we can use some other recyclables to make a cool bird feeder. Here I have a toilet paper tube, and for my toilet paper tube, I used a hole puncher to create holes on the top, and that hole on the top is going to be able to create a hook for me to hang. And then I used my hole puncher to create 2 holes on the bottom, and that is going to be for a straw so that I can make a perch, a small little landing for my little birds to land on when they come to eat their little treat. So I'm just going to push my straw through my 2 holes at the bottom. My hands are so sticky from my bird seed already. But let me get this through here. Yeah, one side of the perch is good enough. So now you'll take your mixture that we've already created. You can use your hands or a butter knife and just stick it to the side and get a nice layer of bird seed here. And that's just an easy way we can use our recyclables to create a special treat for the birds. And again, I can hang that right outside, and I'll have cardinals, the red birds, and I'll have sparrows, the little brown birds, and I'll have little chickadees that'll come sit on my perch and enjoy these delicious bird seed treats that I created for them. So friends, there are so many small things that we can do to help show our appreciation for the planet Earth, which is not only our home, but the home of the animals that we love so much. And it's also home to a lot of different plants. When you think about the food that you eat during the day, all the fruits and vegetables that you eat are plants that came from planet Earth. So I discovered a really cool thing I can do to help regrow some plants that I eat pretty regularly. So what I love to eat is salad, and salad comes from lettuce. And if you've ever seen a big head of lettuce, what I like to do is once my lettuce is grown, I chop off the leaves and chop it up into a lettuce. And what I'm left with is this bottom stump. And what I discovered is if I put this stump that I wouldn't normally eat into a small bowl of water, it starts to grow again. The leaves are going to grow right back out of the stumps, and grow new lettuce. And as I keep them in the water and give them sunshine, they're going to start to grow little roots. And when they start to grow little roots, I know that they're ready to put in the soil. So after chopping up my lettuce to create my salad, I have been regrowing every single stump that I had. And soon I'm never going to have to buy lettuce again. I'm going to have my own lettuce garden by reusing those stumps. You could do the same thing with celery. Here I have my celery stump. I cut off all the stalks, I gobbled them up, put my stump into some water. When the roots start to grow, now I have my very own celery plant growing too. I didn't have to buy a new one. I didn't have to take a new one from the planet. I was able to regrow by just using the stump. So there are so many things we can do to help our earth. It is our home. It's home to all the animals we love too. So recycle when you can, please. Try some of these awesome activities I showed you today to show the earth and the animals that you love it. And keep being awesome, my little nature nuts. I miss you guys so much. Have a great day. Happy Earth Day every day. And I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.